welcome back to Top Shelf Disney Animation Studios Library, the podcast where we watch the Disney Animation Studios films from Snow White all the way up to Moana. I'm doing TC's bit this week because after 51 episodes, I figured I could steal something from him. Humming over there is, of course, TC. Hello, TC.
Hello, Jeff.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm in a good mood. It's joyful happiness. You know. How are you doing?
I am doing miserable, but you know.
No. If you're gonna go with that, you need to do it in the proper.
I'm gonna do it miserable.
There you go. You know, I anticipated. As you were saying it, I'm sure it struck you that you should have done it as you are.
It did, and I was like, wait, hold on, let me get in here. I hate when I do that. Oh well. Well, TC, we're back again for episode 51 of the podcast.
51. We are 51. We are in our last set of films in this library.
Not even a full 10. So as TC, do you explain the list thing again for those of you who might be just joining us?
Oh yeah, so we've started with Snow White. We're going through a very specific library, which is the Disney Animation Studios library. There's only 56 of those at the time of this recording. Wreck-It Ralph 2 comes out in November, which we'll probably come back for that. But as we're going through, we're grouping these in 10 so we can rank them 1 through 10 instead of trying to rank 1 through 56 like some crazy people think they can do.
People are crazy.
When all is said and done, our final episode, we're going to take the number ones from each of them. Also, people really like this idea of the 4 wild cards. Some good response back. Good feedback from the listeners about that, and a couple of cool new categories for our last episode. But we are not there yet. We are on our new group of 10, our first in this grouping of not 10, and the last stretch of films here, Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah. Fantastic. Fantastic. This is going to be fun.
And thank you, everybody, for listening and joining us. If this is your first episode, please go back and take a listen. I believe Wyatt's going through and commenting on all the previous episodes.
He is, and it keeps throwing me off because I look through the notifications and I'm like, what post was that one? What is it? Bambi? That's what. Oh, okay, it's Wyatt. Thanks, Wyatt, for going. It's great, by all means.
Because it's also giving me it's giving me a reason to go back and kind of reevaluate these movies as we're getting closer to the end.
TC, are we going to
go
start
back and
over?
think about them?
Are we starting over? That's the twist for the last episode. We're actually going to do Snow White again and just going to keep... I mean, hey, look, Lindsay and I on the AFI podcast, for those of you who don't know, Lindsay, who is also on the Top Shelf Podcast Network here, who does the Best Oscar winners, when she and I did our original Top Shelf podcast, the AFI one, Ben-Hur was number 100. It was the first movie on our list. We could not get through it at the time. So later in the show, like I think it was, man, she'd have to remind me. I can't remember now, but I think it was like one of the last ones we did. We went back and watched Ben-Hur all the way through just so we could do a proper episode on it.
Well, that's commitment. That is commitment to the cause right there.
We tried, we wanted to make sure we had all 100. So we were not going to do that with this podcast. We've watched all these movies, guys.
It's true. Yeah. I'm not sure I don't think we gave anyone the short shrift in these. It's funny that there was a spell where the recording of an episode was the length of the film.
Yep.
There's a very good chance that might be what happens today because we are looking at one of the shortest in the library in 2011's Winnie the Pooh.
I could not believe it. Like the movie started and I checked the runtime and actually I thought my copy of the film was wrong. Like right? I'm like, wait a minute. It's an hour and 3 minutes? And then it blew my mind because the credits started 54 minutes into the film and I went, there's 10 minutes of credits? What?
It's you know what though? Go ahead. I don't know if I'd need any more than what was here. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just that there's no use in prolonging this and making it any longer than it is. And much like the original Winnie the Pooh, it's so vignette-y, as I'm making that a word.
That's a word now.
That even watching this with the original, because I actually went back and popped in the original after I'd finished watching this one. I just had it playing in the background while I was working on some stuff. And it's not necessary that this be a long, drawn-out film, which goes to a question we actually got from one of our listeners that I'll get to later.
Okay.
But yeah, this is quite short. It's a little
shorter
more...
It's shorter than the original.
It's short. You hadn't seen this one, right?
No, this is the last movie in our list that I have not seen. Okay. And I remember it coming out because I do remember the marketing for a new Winnie the Pooh movie, which I'm not going to lie, even at the time I went, really? Why are they making another Winnie the Pooh movie? Like, that's strange. Unfortunately, it is also our last 2D animated film on the list.
Right, yeah. I know we kept touting Princess and the Frog as this wonderful send-off to 2D. And I still stand by that. I think Princess and the Frog is the proper send-off because this is a throwback. This feels, and I mean this appropriately. I mean this as a good thing. It feels like a nice filler between Tangled and what is to come.
Right.
That instead of not releasing something or forcing something to be released that isn't up to snuff, this feels like an appropriate release for this time period. And there's nothing wrong with this movie. I mean,
no.
I'm not saying that in that I'm praising this as one of the end-all be-all of the films. It's just, it's funny. It's going to sound like Brother Bear all over again. It's fine. This movie's fine. And
it's
in a good way.
Right. It's fine, and it's fine and good in exactly what you would expect. If if someone said like, "Oh, this is going to be a Winnie the Pooh movie," I'd be like, "Okay." I sat down and I went, "Yep, this is a Winnie the Pooh movie." Like. Not in a bad way, just knowing that they hit all the beats. It's the animation style. It's the fact that Pooh breaks the fourth wall and talks to the narrator.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
It's him interacting with the actual words on the page, like it was, or them like spinning the book to get him out of bed. It's the opening and closing. I'm literally going through my entire notes, by the way, guys. So
well, here we're gonna jump in before you.
We're gonna be in and out in 10 minutes, guys.
There is. It's the same style of meta humor that we got in the original one, where it's the narrator interacting with the characters, interacting with Pooh himself, really, because I don't think any of the other characters interact with the narrator. It's just Winnie the Pooh that does.
Yeah,
and it's tipping the book and using the letters to climb out of the pit. But this is like, as much as the meta humor was in the original '77 Winnie the Pooh and the Winnie the Poohs that then followed, which I want to talk about in a moment as well. This one, I think the meta humor is there's more of it,
right?
And I think it's a little more deliberate. And though this still has the cute, jokey nature that this series has always had, it feels a little more modern. It feels more modern than we've seen previously,
right?
The takes to the audience and the narrator's interaction feels just a bit more modern than the original '77 version.
Well, and there's like one good, like the moment near the end when Owl realizes that he messed up reading Christopher Robin's note, and they all kind of cut back to him, and he's just like sitting there like blinking with his eyes open wide, and then it's just the like smash, like it's the smash zoom out of the frame. Like he's just gone out of the frame right away because he took off. It's a very kind of like I know that is a Looney Tunes. That's a Chuck. Dang it, I did it again. Chuck Jones.
Avery.
Tex
Chuck
Avery.
Jones. Tex Avery.
Right. I always do that. But it's very much so like a Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck type exit. But that's definitely also more used nowadays in a lot of cartoons. That's a modern day piece of joke or a piece of humor.
Much more utilized in modern.
Yes.
Comedic sensibility.
See, this is why you're here, TC. I ramble words, you translate and make me sound smart.
Yeah, I speak Jeff.
You speak
Jeff well.
Jeff. It takes a long time to learn to speak Jeff.
The humor in this is really sweet, though. Starting it out, as it started, I had a sense of maybe the first 10 minutes or so. I thought, man, this really just feels like a TV show. This doesn't feel like a film, and that's pretty consistent through the whole thing. This, in fact, they as I read, someone got a tweet from, why don't I ever write the Twitter people down? Two of these segments came from the Winnie the Pooh TV series.
Did it? Because that's, I was trying to figure out, A, why they made this, and B, I got that same exact feeling that I was like, was this a pilot for a TV show? Was that what this was supposed to be? And they just turned it into a film? There
already was a TV show at the time, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. I think that might have been what it was called. But it's the Eeyore being the Tigger 2 was a moment, and there was a second moment as well. But the whole movie, though it feels like a TV series, and it's because it's just one thing after the other. There's more of a through line in this than there was in the original one, in terms of it's just Eeyore's tale and the Baxen. Those are the two, what I feel are the two stories.
Right, and those two stories just flow naturally into one another because I hadn't realized at first that, we're kind of on to another story. Like it just kind of just felt, we're just going, this is just one, it's an hour-long story that they were telling.
Yeah. But the humor still works very well. It's very cute, it's very sweet and earnest, and I didn't really get any... There's no jokes that like inherently offended me, right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes, especially when you pile on too many jokes, you're going to reach a point where, if we may point to the most egregious of recent films, it's Chicken Little, where it's just throw all the darts at the board.
Right.
This has a very sweet, very friendly quality to it, as it should. I don't think that getting edgy with these characters is something that anyone should ever attempt to do.
No, you don't get edgy with Winnie the Pooh.
No, Winnie the Pooh, all these characters, they need to remain as wholesome as they possibly can.
You know what happens when you get edgy with Winnie the Pooh? You get Ted. The movie Ted by Seth MacFarlane.
Right. Yeah.
That's what happens, guys.
Honestly, I think the most, really the most modern feeling joke came from when Rabbit was giving all the military hand signals to Pooh and Piglet when they were setting up to fight the Baxen, and it's a lot of that's the really kinetic, sharp this.
Which I made a comment on. I actually liked that. I liked the crazy rabbit moment. I liked how insane he was getting in that. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I'm not turning my nose up at it, but it just felt that joke felt really contemporary. Although they capped it very, very nicely because it went on just a smidge too long, and then he just turns to Piglet and Pooh, and they just wave at him. And then I'm like, there it is. That's it. That's the wholesome, sweet quality of Winnie the Pooh right there.
Oh, man. And the entire... so just talking about another sequence that I loved because it was that wholesome feeling when they're all trapped in the hole and Piglet's up above and he's trying to get him down, or he's trying to get him out. And he finds the rope, and they're help, lower it down, and he cuts it into six individual pieces.
Use the rope to get us all out. Oh, get you all out. Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then there's that moment of waiting, and Pooh's just looking up, and then Rabbit has this look on his face, what the hell is he doing?
That entire sequence is brilliant. I loved it.
Oh, because you hadn't seen this before, I had a really sneaking suspicion you loved the not bit.
Oh, yes, because it's
that total Abbott and Costello.
Yes.
Do you know how to tie a knot? I cannot. You cannot.
You
no,
cannot.
I cannot not. You cannot not? I cannot.
Loved it. I was folding my laundry when that happened, and I turned away just for a split second, and then I heard the first "I cannot not," and I went, "Oh, you guys are doing this, aren't you?" And I got super excited, and I turned back to the camera, to the TV, and I was just staring intently, going,
Jeff,
"You're doing this."
Jeff, you did a take to the studio audience, is what you're telling me. Your life is a sitcom.
I am the Truman Show, but I'm the funny Truman Show, guys. I hope you know this, right?
In your life as a sitcom, am I mostly on the show as a voice, and occasionally my movie filming career opens up that I can do an actual physical cameo on your show? Is that how?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm one of those guys.
You're one of those guys that you're just we can only get you for a couple hours a week, and you record this little voiceover in your booth, and you send it to us, and I just act alongside it. I don't actually get to act with you. So it's a special guest star cameo appearance by TC DeWitt every week, and hopefully you can be here for the season finale.
Yes, I will be there. You can guarantee it. Series finale especially. See, we're just being silly right now. Sillier, in fact. More silly than the original 1977 Winnie the Pooh is this movie, bringing it back. You know my two new favorite characters in this series? I was sad that the gopher didn't return, the groundhog didn't return.
Yeah.
But my two favorite characters, actually one in particular, Tummy and Balloon.
Because they are very much so their own characters. Those things are they're literally Pooh's stomach is literally its own character attached to him. Is that who you're talking about?
Exactly. His tummy.
He needs to get that looked at. Of course, Pooh also needs to get his like honey addiction looked at as well.
Yeah,
he's got a problem.
if we want to talk dark here for a second, I actually have a note here that Pooh's got a serious problem. He has got an addiction. Now, in the original 77, when we did that podcast, people had asked if we subscribe to the theory that all these characters represent some sort of psychosis or addiction, right?
Yeah.
Right. And I didn't necessarily subscribe to that. I can see where people could interpret it that way, that, Tigger would have ADHD, or that Rabbit would be
Rabbit's like OCD.
Crystal meth or something like that.
Yeah, crystal meth. That's right.
Something like that. That Piglet has some sort of I don't know. But like, I get where you can tear that apart. With this one, however, man, does Pooh have a problem. It's not just like, oh, I want honey, oh bother. It's like, I gotta get that honey.
I gotta get that honey, man.
Can you give me some of that honey, huh?
Yeah. I mean, he trips out for an entire sequence. Dude was tripping, man. He's not
everything
okay.
Is honey. Here's my note for the. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say no. You do yours first, because then my comment goes elsewhere.
The everything is honey segment as it kicked in. Now, sorry, tangent for a second. I have seen this before. I've seen it once before, and I liked it. It's just makes me feel happy. It's just a nice film, and I mean that wholeheartedly. Mm-hmm. But I'd forgotten little things about it. So going back to it, that everything is honey sequence. As soon as that started, I went, oh, I remember this. And then a split second later, I went, Simpsons did it. Because this is the land of chocolate. It's the land of chocolate moment from Homer Simpson. Like, the land of chocolate. La 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 la. Mr. Simpson. Oh, I'm sorry. Whoa, we were talking about the land of chocolate. That was 15 minutes ago. But like, Pooh going to everything is honey moment was, I thought the Simpsons moment, and then I thought, man, he's got a problem. This is
well, and it's funny because, okay, so going back to the whole, like, you could relate each of the characters to having the different, psychological issues. This movie, all the other characters did not, to me at least, exhibit those behaviors. It was just Pooh and his extreme honey addiction. The other ones have they have little ticks in their personality, but not to the extent they used to.
No, I think the most we get from anyone else showing some sort of element of a flawed character trait is Piglet's like endless forgiveness of, okay, I'm in the beehive now. Are you sure this is gonna work, Pooh? I trust you. Oh, I'm sorry I messed up your plan.
Yes.
Like a little too apologetic.
But getting his head stuck in the beehive was hilarious.
Poor Piglet.
I felt so bad for Piglet.
Yeah. Like Eeyore brings it on himself because he's just a downer. But poor Piglet, he is just the sweetest guy, and he just gets abused.
Yep.
But
see,
Tummy
nice guys don't finish last.
No, they don't.
Sorry.
Tummy as a character, he definitely had personality, and he's that voice inside the attic saying, "Hey man, get that hit, huh?
Yeah, come on,
you want to get that honey?" But Balloon as a character, Balloon versus Tigger was amazing because he just went through an entire story arc of like, I'm gonna hunt it. That's right, I'm gonna hunt the balloon. Oh, the balloon's got me. Oh, get it away. I've never thought about having a sidekick before. No, I can't have a sidekick. Like, that whole sequence is very cute, and the fact that the balloon ends up winning the honey pot in the end, right?
And then takes it away. First off, how strong is that balloon? Second of all, where's it taking it? What is happening with that honey? I want to know. These are the questions this movie could have spent 5 more minutes answering, TC. It could have.
Yeah. And I'm going to put this into a trope section, okay?
All right.
Because I think we've had enough of them now that this is becoming a staple of Disney, which is the non-speaking supporting characters.
Okay.
The sidekick characters who cannot speak. The most we get, like, yeah, sure, Tummy can make a noise, and Balloon cannot speak. And we've, like, Carpet, if we go all the way back to Aladdin, he couldn't say a word.
Even Pascal last week
couldn't say a word.
Making little noises. And I thought I wrote that down somewhere. I just don't think I ever brought it up. Because, like Abu, at least, like, Abu talks. Like, Abu makes noises, but he does make word-sounding things, but still,
right.
You could still argue, he's in that grouping with him as well.
Yeah, Agree to disagree on that. I don't know if I'd put a Boo in there because he can speak.
He can
It's
verbalize
these
a little bit
completely non-verbal characters that we're getting more and more of, and we will have more in this as we go through this. There's one in particular that comes to mind, and I think that's an interesting trope that something that they continue to go back to is to have completely mute characters, and I don't know if that is a genius marketing maneuver because it's one less character you have to translate into Spanish or German or Japanese, like to have a character that's all physical.
Right.
And I don't know if that's just smart marketing or smart production, or if it's a wonderful use of animation technique. You have to create a character, you have 0 words to work with, so it all has to be physical.
Right. I'd like to think it's the latter. Or the later. Like, I really do. I think it's the latter, TC. I think it's the ladder that just takes you from here to there. No,
it's a ladder of letters.
Exactly. Too many letters to pronounce. That makes no sense. But like, I think I'd like to think that it is the latter of the two where, damn it, later. That is just that it's a character that Disney likes to give the nonverbal characters. Like, they like making them, they like using them because that's just it's physical humor. It's all in the face. It's facial expressions. It's all just it's stuff that everybody can relate to. Unfortunately, I do also think a lot of times it is the first option as well. That it's just we can make one toy. That's for all over the world. We do not have to get a voiceover artist to redub the toy in Japan. It can be the same toy.
I'll be the give it the optimistic side of it and the less cynical side of it, and think that it does have something more to do with the challenge of the animation and more than it is the marketability of it. But I
you
think
guys
that might
heard
be
it here. TC just called me a cynic. That's it. Podcast done. We're done. We're out of here.
So, speaking of voices, it's worth mentioning that Zooey Deschanel does some singing for this movie.
Dude, that threw me off.
Okay. I had mentioned that she was going to do it, and you must have forgotten because this was way back when. I know that there are people out there who just inherently don't like her, and that saddens me that you would not give this movie a shake because Zooey Deschanel sings to it. And I did get a tweet from someone saying, I won't watch this because Zooey Deschanel. That's just silly. You have a right to your opinion, but she's got like 2 singing moments in this entire movie, so don't let that turn you off from the joy of this sweet film.
And again, guys, this movie's 54 minutes long. She sings for like 3.5, 4 minutes in the entire film. That's it. Don't worry.
Let's talk about something else that might turn you off. In the 77, we talked about Rabbit being a jerk, right?
Yeah.
And he was. He's such a jerk in that one. Is Owl a jerk in this one? Because he really sits on the fence for me of like either he's just because he never shuts up. He's one of those people like those know-it-alls that honestly doesn't know anything. Right. For a guy who's writing his memoirs and can't read a simple note from Christopher Robin.
Those memoirs are gonna suck.
So like he talks a lot in this, more so than we saw in the original.
That is true, and I never made that connection that because it's mostly. Excuse me. Oh wow, that was. I'm sorry, I nearly just died.
Too much honey.
Cool. It's too much honey, guys. I never made that connection that a lot of the plot is his fault because he has Eeyore's tail.
Yeah, he's the one. Yeah, and he misreads the letter about the Baxtons. So everything that happens in this movie is his fault.
Wow, I didn't actually make that connection.
Yeah. So he's not. I don't feel like he's as big a jerk as Rabbit was in the original.
No, Rabbit was a lot bigger of a jerk in the original.
Yeah, Rabbit's out to destroy Tigger in that first one. In this one, he's a jerk in that he won't admit that he's wrong, and his ignorance is very apparent. But he's voiced wonderfully by Craig Ferguson.
That was I was looking at like the voice listed this one too, and I'm like, so it's the guy who did the original Eeyore. I believe.
Thanks for noticing me.
Yeah, like one of his. I think it's one of because it's Ralph Wright, who. Oh no, it's not the original one. I apologize. Somebody. One of the. Anyways, I'll look it up. Doesn't matter. Oh wait. Hold on. I'm in the wrong. Guys, I was on the wrong one. I'm sorry.
There's more Owl and there's more Eeyore in this one. I like that this was filled out a little differently with what characters are being featured than they were in the original. And I like that. I liked seeing a bit more Eeyore, although he did wear on me a little bit where his just he has to be miserable. There is no helping him. But later when he like finds his own anchor tail and just weighs him down, and that makes him what Eeyore will call happy.
Right.
When he finally gets his tail and he's like, well, it's got a good swish to it. And like, okay, then I don't dislike Eeyore, but there was a point early where I'm like, oh boy, if you were just going to refuse to be happy, there is no helping you, Eeyore. Come on, man. We're all trying here.
You got to work with us too, guys. Okay, like come on, Eeyore. This is a two-way street. It's not just a one-way street.
Yeah.
Quick. I apologize. Yeah. Bud Lucky did Eeyore's voice in this, and he actually, at the time of this recording, he passed away just over a month ago.
Oh, all right.
He just passed away.
All right, but that's
at the age of 83. Man had a good life. So I apologize. He was who did Eeyore. I thought he did the original one, but I'm wrong.
Well, he did a great job in this. I particularly like the Eeyore Tigger team up section. Was a nice sequence.
Yep.
It was the right amount of Tigger, I think, that he didn't take over the film, because I know that it tends to be the fan favorite of a character. Voiced wonderfully by Mr. Jim Cummings, who also did Pooh Bear.
Yes. Oh gosh, Jim Cummings. Like I listened to him talk, and I'm just like, yeah, that like I love how well he was able to emulate Sterling Holloway's Winnie the Pooh. You know, like it sounds the same to me. Like obviously, and we heard a lot of Sterling Holloway, but it's still Pooh. It's a little different, but it's still Winnie the Pooh. You can still tell. And I love how well he does that job.
Do you prefer one over the other? That's a question Wyatt asked us over on Facebook. Was Sterling Holloway or Jim Cummings?
Gosh,
that is a tough call.
That's so tough, because you know what? In my head, they sound the same.
Yeah, I'm in the same ballpark of like, it's Jim Cummings doing an impression of Sterling Holloway, so Sterling Holloway trumps Jim Cummings because. I shouldn't say trumped.
He took away a word. Yes.
Sorry. He supersedes. He thesaurus brain go. He outdoes. He complements. Sterling Holloway is the voice of Winnie the Pooh, and Jim Cummings does a fantastic impression of Sterling Holloway. So Sterling Holloway.
I mean, obviously, you go back to our previous episodes when we used to do the Sterling Hollywood, like Sterling Holloway. My goodness, you guys know what I'm trying to say. Sterling Holloway, like alert, like appearance whenever he would appear. I love listening to that man talk. I honestly could have sat and listened to a book on tape by him, narrated by him.
I wonder if he ever okay.
Should actually
we also
look
have
that up.
Tom Kenny, voice of SpongeBob SquarePants, doing the voice of
As
Rabbit.
Rabbit, which threw me off too.
Interestingly, it didn't sound like he was doing an impression of the original Rabbit. It sounded like he was just doing his own thing, which I can appreciate that they didn't go out of their way to mimic all the voices, because oftentimes that can feel disingenuous. They didn't sound like they were trying to. Craig Ferguson wasn't trying to recreate the original Owl's voice. He was babbling his own thing wonderfully.
The only ones that I feel like they tried to recreate, as close as they could, would be Piglet and obviously Winnie the Pooh. Because Piglet, and Tigger. Because I feel like those are the three. First off, I mean, I don't. That's not necessarily, unfortunately. I think those are the three like fan favorites.
Yeah, it's hard. They would be the most popular of the three of all the characters. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard because it's a cast of like 9 characters, so it's hard when there's like, well, here's the fan favorites. It's 3, but like Piglet, Winnie the Pooh, and Tigger are the ones that people know. So those. Are the three,
I mean, no one's out there like, where's the Rabbit movie?
Yeah,
no one's asking for that.
Where's the Roo movie? I don't need the Kanga part. Just give me Roo, okay? I want to see little Clint Howard.
It's worth. Well, he didn't voice it this time.
I know.
It's worth mentioning that this. Okay, so we had the movie in '77. Mm-hmm. They had the animated TV series. They had a bunch of straight to DVD movies before this one. There's even I don't think we talked about this. Do you remember the live action Winnie the Pooh show with like the full-sized human people in puppet costumes?
Yes.
Google this, folks. They are. I don't know can't remember if we mentioned it in the first one, but man, I remember watching that on Disney and I remember liking it. But going back and looking at it now, there's something creepy about giant human-sized puppet like they're mascot costumes. These aren't puppets. These are mascot costumes. I feel
was it the Welcome to Pooh Corner? Was it that one?
Yeah,
was
I think
that
so.
live action one?
So. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
Google that, guys.
you can have Big Bird and you can have Sweetums, but beyond that, there's something creepy about human-sized mascotty puppets existing in a puppety world. You know, like I don't know why I can accept the Met, Mr. Met, or like those kind of mascots.
Yeah.
Maybe because they're in the context of a sports arena, so it's fine. But in TV execution, there's something creepy about it.
Especially when the program is for children. It just feels even worse at that point.
I don't know. But not as creepy if we're just tangenting into a kid's show. Look up Zoobly Zoo. That'll haunt your nightmares.
Oh, man. So welcome to this episode where we're just trying to scare the crap out of all of you at home. By the way, oh my goodness, I think I've seen Zoobly Zoo. Holy cow.
Yeah, it's Ben Vereen does a voice that... No, we're not changing into Zoobly Zoo. Let's talk about John Cleese as the narrator, because he did a great job. John Cleese as narrator.
Guys, I'm not going to lie. Half of my notes... I don't have a lot of notes for this movie, because it was so short. But half of my notes were literally me going, is that John Cleese? Wait, is that Zooey Deschanel? Wait a minute. Is that Craig Ferguson? Like, I just kept freaking out going, I didn't know any of these people were in this movie. But no, John Cleese did a fantastic job. He again, he's like Stephen Fry. He's one of those like actors where I will sit and just listen to him talk and enjoy it because I like the sound of his voice.
Yeah, he was making up for turning down Basil because he was offered the role of Basil back for Great Mouse Detective, and he rejected it.
How dare he? How dare he reject us?
I don't know if he would have made a good Basil or not, but it's nice to hear him in the narrator spot here. He's a legend. I mean, Monty Python, his role in comedy is important, and to have a legendary actor like that in the narrator spot, not chewing up. Is he our 80s star in this?
Ooh, you know
80s,
what?
90s star?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but I think you're right. I think he is our 80s star for this film. But he's not like a wash-up, because I don't care. John Cleese will never be a wash-up actor anyways.
No.
But, oh man, I didn't even think about that. Good point. Good call, TC.
So there is a series of these movies and a TV series, and there's some straight-to-DVD stuff. There were some theatrical released. Piglet's Big Movie, I believe, was theatrical released. I think the Tigger movie was as well. Not under this Disney library, under one of the other libraries.
Right.
There was a bit that I thought was in the original, and it wasn't. And then I couldn't imagine it wasn't going to be in this because I remembered it from my childhood. And I had to look it up, and it was from a 1983 Winnie the Pooh movie that was released. So there's lots of Winnie the Pooh. And it was, this is going to sound gross, but come on, everyone be mature right now so we can discuss this. No, Jeff, I'm going to say that.
I don't think I can.
Jeff, listen.
Okay.
I'm going to say this, and I don't want you to giggle. Okay.
No giggling.
There was a game that Pooh created called Pooh Sticks. Jeffrey!
I am not a mature adult, TC. You should know this.
Does this sound familiar? Does Pooh Sticks sound familiar?
Pooh Sticks?
No, okay, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. No. What?
I thought it was part of the original where it's Winnie the Pooh on a bridge and he tosses a pine cone in the river below, and then it comes out on the other side. And he's like, well, that's interesting. I threw it on that side, and then it came out on this side.
Oh,
and he
that sounds so familiar. Yeah.
Where everybody tosses sticks into the water, and then they look to the other side to see who comes out first.
Yes.
Okay.
No, that I remember. What is that? Okay.
It's from a different Winnie the Pooh movie. Like, it's part of Disney. It's not like a different as in a completely... It's just part of the series. It was one of those things that was probably played on the Disney Channel when I was like 7 or 8, and it just stuck with me to the point where I remember going to Petrified Springs Pets Park in my hometown and playing Pooh Sticks on the bridge, because there was a bridge that looked exactly like the bridge from the 100 Acre Wood that me and my sister and my brother would go play this game at. And it ends with them tossing their sticks. None of the sticks come out except... And then Eeyore comes floating out on his back.
Yes! Oh, so it's in Winnie the Pooh and A Day for Eeyore, the 1983 one.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to look it up, guys. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I was hoping you would. If not, I was going to. But
tigers don't like pook sticks.
all this goes to a question that Wyatt asked us, right? So over on Facebook.com/TopShelfPod, you can comment on the episode. I'll mention this again later. But Wyatt says, prior to your episode, I only listened to 2 or 3 podcasts devoted to this movie, the 2011 Winnie the Pooh. And because of that, he's very curious why this movie is rarely discussed. Is it that bad? Is it too saccharine? Is it secretly condescending to both children and adults the world over? Or maybe it's just because this film's unfortunate release date. I don't know. Hopefully we can elaborate on this. Now, Jeff, I have some thoughts, but I want to ask you, why do you think this doesn't come up on people's radars a lot? Why is this? Do you have any idea why this might be a movie that people neglect or forget?
You know, I was talking to somebody off air, and also not you, TC, because guys, believe it or not, I do talk to other people besides TC, though they've
seen the show. Jeff, they all watch your show. They know the other
true.
Characters.
Everybody knows them all. So I was trying to talk about somebody else about it because I had that same exact thought. I'm in my head. I'm like, first off, I don't understand why they made this movie when they did, and I'm wondering if it's because it's right in this age where like the generations of Disney watchers are kind of shifting, because we're right before like the generation of the movies my nieces all watched. And my nieces are, between 7 and 10. 11, 10? Yeah. I had to count real quick, guys. But like so it's like it's the generation of like my generation who's having kids but maybe hasn't been out of it. Like we remember watching Winnie the Pooh. But at the same time, I feel like, because again, I remember seeing the trailer for it. I remember seeing the posters advertising for it. And I went, oh, it's a Winnie the Pooh movie. Oh, I'm too old for that. And just ignoring it. Yeah. And I wonder if it just didn't fall in that era, like that, just like that little time frame, where people just, you were either too old or you just didn't know who Winnie the Pooh was.
Right. They, okay. Yeah. That might be, you might be onto something there. I think, okay, so first of all, this came out 3 days before Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. So
which I went and saw.
that probably played a part in why this wasn't like a massive box office success or that it flew under people's radar, because that's counter-programming. Harry Potter had reached a dark stage. It was a little more adult, a little more scary. Yeah. And counter-programming says, hey, families, we'll give you a second option that's not that. Here's a sweet cartoon with Winnie the Pooh.
Right.
But
it's short, so your kids could get in and out of the theaters.
Yeah. And this goes towards what I was just discussing with Pooh Sticks and the straight-to-DVD stuff. I think the main issue why this is not one that pops up is oversaturation. I think there was too much Winnie the Pooh too quickly that people just didn't care anymore. To have there's 5 other movies. There's the Pooh's Heffalump movie, and there's Piglet's Big Movie, and Tigger's movie. There was the cartoon series that ran for a spell in the late 80s. I just think there was too much Winnie the Pooh that people just didn't care anymore. And this being only the 3rd time they've done a sequel, because we had The Rescuers, and we had Fantasia, if you want to count that as a sequel. And now we're back here with Winnie the Pooh. And it's interesting because I feel like Disney would have known this already, that they're straight-to-DVD releases, which are strictly cash grabs. I don't care how much you like some of these sequel movies. They are made for money. Nobody is... And there may be artists working on it, but in the grand scheme of things, it's like, hey, this one thing was successful. Let's make more of it to milk this cow as hard as we can. And I feel like Disney should have known that in releasing and creating this. It's Lasseter, so he's a smart dude when it comes to how to run a company for film. And the other side of the coin here is that this movie doesn't feel like a cash grab. It doesn't feel like they are just trying to create more merchandise to sell. And it's that fine balance of maybe if they pandered a little bit more, it would have captured an audience. I don't want them to. I'm not saying that. But maybe that's a credit to them that they said, no, we're going to create a film that honors the tradition of Winnie the Pooh as it's always been meant to be. But I think, Wyatt, to answer your question, I think it was oversaturation. I think people were just Ugh, more Winnie the Pooh? I already got 10 of these movies at home. Do I need another one that I have to pay at the theaters to see?
Right. Yeah, because I'm looking like right now just online of all like the Winnie the Pooh movies and all the TV shows and all that. And yeah, that's a good point. Like there was like TV wise, there was a Winnie the Pooh show. Basically, they're different variations, but all through the 80s. And then 2001 to 2010, there was 3 different shows. So like it's just basically all during the 2000s. Early 2000s. There was just Winnie the Pooh was on.
Winnie the Pooh, yeah. And you know what? I'm just thinking this now to go back to your point, Jeff, of missing the target. 2011, we have Netflix now, right? People can stream stuff at home. And in particular, Netflix Kids exists. Disney has their PBS Kids is offering more animated content, streaming content. Nickelodeon. There's so much sit at home and play something on TV content that Winnie the Pooh's market, their target market skews younger. It does have a timeless feel to it. I can enjoy it. You can enjoy it. Kids can enjoy it. But I think its target audience is in 2011 and today. That's not an audience that's going to go to the theaters. That's an audience that stays at home. If you look at some of the other movies of this area, Curious George came out around this time, which is definitely in the same realm of sweet little kid movie without being annoying.
Right.
And that's stay-at-home stuff. Don't bring your kids to the theaters. As theaters continue to compete to bring adults in with IMAX and serving beer and dinner, there's no market for little kids anymore to come out to the theaters unless you're going to make one of those playtime theaters, and who the heck wants to go to one of those? Sit your kid down. Sit your kid down. I am watching Winnie the Pooh. Sit your kid down. You know what? I don't care. This is a non sequitur that does not. I remember seeing Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice in theater, and in front of me was a family, and they had like a 6-year-old with them, right? And that little kid would not sit down and shut up, and I got so annoyed that I was like, shh, shh, hey, shut your kid up, to the point where the dad was like, hey man, it's Superman and Batman. I'm like, this isn't a kid's movie. Take your kid in the hall now.
Yeah. a kid that young should not be watching a movie like that. Come on. Also, you're making me miss my movie.
Yeah. So anyway, that's way over the place but I think there's a lot of elements in play here about why this movie doesn't fall into a memorable category. It's oversaturation. It's the wrong audience to ask to come to the movies. And that's not to say that this movie isn't good, because it is. This movie, Jeff, how did you feel about it? I liked it.
I liked it from the moment it started, when I realized that they were doing the live action opening and ending like they did from the original one. Mm-hmm. And it kind of just, I laughed at it, a handful of times. That sounds like I barely laughed, but you know what I mean? Like I laughed at it. It was enjoyable to watch. It felt very warm, and it felt just kind of inviting, and it felt like, to use a cliche, it felt like putting on a warm sweater, like an old sweater, or like it felt like, oh, okay, this is Winnie the Pooh. It wasn't, it never pretended to be like anything else but what it was, and I liked it, and it ended even with it only being 54 minutes, not including the 10 minutes of credits and the post-credit sequence.
With
guys.
The
This movie
I like the way that guy talked. Hey, look at all this stuff. I better collect this in case they come. Oh, I'm in a pit.
That blew my mind. I got super excited and super confused that a Winnie the Pooh movie had a post-credit sequence in it. Guys, what's happening?
Yeah, I think that in general, this movie is such a feel-good film that it would be hard not to watch this and smile. And I didn't particularly guffaw through any of this. There was a couple jokes in particular that did make me have a nice laugh out loud moment. The one that really gave me a good laugh was when they're all in the pit and Eeyore just goes, "We're all gonna die." I don't know why that. Maybe because it was just, geez, Eeyore.
It's like I know you're sad and depressing usually, but that's just. Dang, dude, get some help, okay? It's not that bad.
And I really liked the chalkboard sequence when Owl is BSing his way through describing the Baxen, and he's like, tell us more, Owl. Why don't you tell me what you think the Baxen is? Yes, that is correct. I liked the chalkboard animation that they did with that.
Yes.
The fact that they did, good. When they pull out of the chalkboard, Owl's frozen image of the chalk drawing, which was the last one we saw, is still on there. And then the fact that the Baxton finds it later and is like, oh, this is a scary picture.
But I do like, and then that's a gag that I kind of was expecting to happen in the film, but then when they didn't, I'm like, oh, okay, so maybe not. But the whole idea that they made up this character and that character actually does exist exactly like they drew it, like I did like that.
The one other laugh out loud moment I had, which is why I wrote down the chalkboard sequence, is when he's like, oh, the Baxton is big and this, I'll draw Piglet in for scale. Oh, poor Piglet.
Always getting he was the runt of his litter.
Yeah, oh, Piglet.
Oh, sad boy. But yeah, overall, TC, I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was fun. It's exactly what it was supposed to be, and I'm completely okay with that. And I did want to know, like, I felt like, do you think if you had never seen, I guess we live in a world where it's probably hard to have never seen anything Winnie the Pooh, right?
Mm-hmm. Like if this was your introduction into Winnie the Pooh. Well, let's talk about that. I've already said this is great for kids at home. I genuinely think that Winnie the Pooh is such a wholesome, sweet series that any little kid could sit down in front of this and find enjoyment in at least Tigger or Piglet or some of the more dynamic characters. Oh man, I'm sorry. You were asking me a question.
No.
Lost the train of thought.
So now I know what it's like when you ask me things, TC. Like every other episode, guys. TC asked me a question.
Introduction. You asked me to introduce a kid into this. Yes, I think you could introduce a child to this, and they could find enjoyment out of it. That the series is so consistent. I think that is probably the highest compliment I can give this series compared to a lot. Though some of the straight to DVD stuff might be less developed or less animation wise impressive, or might come off a little bit lazy. I definitely think that this series has a consistency to it. Just not the live action giant puppet mascot things. Don't do that.
If you're gonna do anything live action with Winnie the Pooh, you keep the opening and ending like they did, where they're just the dolls sitting around Christopher Robin's rooms. Which, okay, just to quickly talk about that aspect, the ending, like the beginning of the end credits before they go to the actual scrolling credits, where they're showing you the shots of the room and the dolls set up, and they're all recreating moments from the movie. Mm-hmm. Like Piglet's doll just sitting on the bed with 6 cut up pieces of rope and the scissors sitting. I'm like, I watched that part and I'm like, no, that's cute, because it's obviously Christopher Robin, the little boy, playing with his dolls.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, those dolls, a lot better shape than the ones in the 70s were. These are like next gen Winnie the Pooh dolls. I have a feeling
they made it very clear in the credit sequence that you can purchase those dolls. Winnie the Pooh was brand new. You can't buy him, but all the other characters are available now at the Disney Store.
I also like the fact that it let me know who the caffeinator was, or caffeination by in the credits. There's some guy who was in charge of like coffee. And the fact that no stuffed animals were hurt in the making of this film.
Oh, I didn't see that. That's sweet. Something that did draw my eye, and I didn't know this until that scrolled by in the credits, Robert and Kristen Lopez wrote the music for this. And
I didn't even look at that.
This was their introduction to Disney, giving them the trust to then write the music for Frozen. So Robert and Kristen Lopez are the husband-wife duo that will eventually write all the music for Frozen. So love them or hate them, they started here.
Dang, I didn't even realize that's who. Yeah. I didn't put 2 and 2 together to realize that's who wrote the music to this one.
Yeah. So once I saw that, I looked to see if they had done anything prior to this, and they had not. This was their introduction into the Disney library, and Kristen Lopez was the voice of Kanga. Robert was the voice of Tummy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's got to be. We've mentioned this before, and I'm gonna mention Creativity Inc. once again, the Pixar book about how Pixar does their thing. Check out the audiobook. It's such a good read, such a good listen. But I like to think Kanga being voiced by Kristen and Tummy being voiced by Robert falls into that category of we got the right voice. We don't need to cast someone. We don't need to look for someone that Pixar is notorious for. That they'll have like a storyboard artist doing the voice for, I can't remember the chef's name in Ratatouille, and they're like, oh no, that's the voice. We don't need to cast anyone else. There's no one more perfect than him.
Right,
and
right.
So that's probably how Robert and Kristen ended up voicing their characters, was like they were probably placeholders, and they just went, no, you guys nailed it. Why do we need to look for anyone else?
Yeah, we're good. That's perfect. No one else is going to be able to do it as well as you guys did. I think I think that's how like Joe Ranft. I think his name was Joe Ranft on a lot of the Pixar films in the early days. I think that's how he did Roz for Monsters Inc. I think it was like just he did it during like the storyboard pitch meetings. Yeah, and they're just like, yeah, that's perfect. Nobody else is gonna nail that. So,
or like Brad Bird doing Edna Mode's voice for Incredibles. Edna Mode.
It's perfect.
Yeah. So I actually don't have any. I don't have any more notes of this. I could go to the comment section if you want me to hit up.
Yeah, why don't we head over to the comment section right now, TC? Because I got nothing else. I kind of expended my thoughts.
Yeah. So every Monday before we record, we throw up the episode we're going to discuss, so you guys can toss comments or questions at us that we can then discuss while we're recording. And it's facebook.com/topshelfpod, or you can tweet at me at TC's Big Head, or you can tweet at Jeff at Random Bell. Definitely appreciate your guys' interaction. You've helped draw out some episodes for us in the past.
Definitely.
No, we like engaging in the conversation. So I did get a tweet from our one of our longtime listeners, Dig Hi Ho, asking us which one's better, this one or 77. And that's not even something that particularly crossed my mind in watching this. I didn't even think to go, which do I like better? Because what we've been doing on this cast is ranking these movies within their 10. To pit one against the other, I think you were the one who asked us which Rescuers we preferred, and I don't remember if anyone asked us which Fantasia we prefer, but I'll ask you, Jeff, which one of these Winnie the Poohs do you like better? If you can dig back a year ago and remember the 77 one versus this one.
Well, see, that's what's tough about it, because watching this, it like I said earlier, like it felt like going home. It felt very comfortable. It felt exactly like it was supposed to be. It didn't feel any different than the 77 one.
Yeah.
The only thing that might in my head maybe edge it out was I kind of liked the story of this one a little bit more. Maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
But then at the same time, like the one from the 77 one where Pooh gets stuck in the tree with the honey, and they have like, that's such a classic story that I know that story, and Rabbit making like Pooh's, like when he gets stuck in Rabbit's door, and he
hangs a portrait.
Yeah. Like that's also like, that's ingrained in my head. And I'm like, no, yeah, I know that story. So I guess to see that would come down to nostalgia at that point. That I guess would maybe hinge me towards the 77, but I don't know. I think these guys, they're both pretty equal. You could watch them back to back and just be
totally in the same ballpark. And honestly, that is how I was going to answer as well, as like just watch them both at the same time, not like simultaneously. I mean back to back.
That would be insane.
That would be weird. Yeah, that 77 one is so sweet. It's so great, and this one just rides that very well. Like it continues that the feelings I had from that first one. That's why I popped the first one in right after I finished this, because it was like I just want to watch the rest. Just have this playing in the background, making me happy.
Yeah.
So I suppose I would take this one over the other one if I had to choose, strictly on the fact that I recognize the voices more. I know John Cleese and Craig Ferguson and Zooey Deschanel doing some singing, and like at the very least, maybe that would give it the edge. But that's a fraction of an edge that there is no one over the other. Just watch them both, and then go on YouTube and watch Pooh Sticks.
Oh man, I can't believe I forgot about that Pooh Sticks thing. But once you started describing them on the bridge, I'm like, oh yeah, of course I know what that is.
Yeah.
I guess I just never knew what it was from.
So. Let's see. Over at Facebook, Natasha, thank you for listening and commenting as always. We love hearing from you. Everything that made the first Winnie the Pooh is so adorable is found here too, from great songs to adorable stories, and it's a nice return to 2D animation. Obviously, we 100% agree with you, Natasha.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Wyatt, I already asked Wyatt's Sterling Holloway, Jim Cummings question, but he asks prior to. Oh no, that's a question for next week. So we already have gotten to your answers there. So that's the only 3 comments I got for this episode. And
and I didn't have anything for this week's episode.
Yeah. So, Jeff, this is a really short episode. Is there any way we can draw this out?
TC, of all the movies that we've watched so far, of all the movies, TC, where are you going to rank this one?
Well, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, this is going to be the only one we have for this list so far. It's going to be number 1. So, I don't want to ask you, Jeff, how you think this is going to hold up against the other ones, because that's too much of a spoiler for what's to come.
True.
So I suppose just to kind of I just want to get a little longer episode here. I'm sure the listeners don't mind listening to us a little bit longer. I'll ask you this. In terms of the revival that we're in right now, okay? Yeah. And I'm going to allow Bolt to be part of this revival. When you look at Bolt, Princess and the Frog, Tangled, and now Winnie the Pooh, how does that hold up against those other 3? I know this is kind of off market or off brand that I'm pushing these against the other 3, but hey, I made you dig hi ho made us pick one over the other. So
how does Winnie the Pooh hold up against the last 3 that we've watched?
Does this fit in this revival era, or is this the anomaly like Rescuers Down Under was? Because if you think Rescuers Down Under is in between 2 of the Renaissance films. It's between, Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast? Is that right? Or is it between Aladdin and Little... I think it's Little Mermaid, Rescuers.
I think it's Little Mermaid. Yeah, it's Little Mermaid, Rescuers Down Under, then Beauty and the Beast.
That's the anomaly in the Renaissance. Is this the anomaly in the revival?
That's a good point. I guess I never made that thought or made that connection. But yeah, actually, I think it is the anomaly, because it doesn't... Princess and the Frog was obviously, like, you can sit and watch that movie and you can go, yep, this is Disney going, like recognizing their 2D heritage, what they did, the type of films that they made before, and going, we're done. We're bowing out. That's maybe not the end of it forever, but that was the end. It's a clear cut, homage to what they used to do.
Right, yeah.
Bolt is them refining this new era of Disney. Tangled is just flat out going... Oh, guys, we got it. We figured it out.
Like, we found our voice, everyone.
Yeah, we know what we're doing. So it's those 3 have very distinct reasons, or you can pinpoint what they are doing in the history of Disney. We get to Winnie the Pooh, and and not to make it sound negative, because obviously we liked the movie. It doesn't bring anything new to the table in the movies that it's surrounding. It's not going like, oh man, they did this with the film that was this is obviously the send off for the 2D animation, or they brought Pooh in this new way and they did something new with them and they tried reviving this classic character of theirs. It didn't do anything. It was just more of a, hey, remember Winnie the Pooh like it used to be? Here it is again. Gosh, that sounds so bad, but
no. Looking at the revival, I think what we've seen in Bolt, Princess and the Frog, and Tangled, and now Winnie the Pooh, is this honoring of the past. That it's not necessarily trying to recapture the glory days. It's honoring and paying homage to what came before. The revival era, as I've seen it, Bolt has this palate cleanse to it, right? It's sweet, it's simple, it's let's take the Pixar method that works best and apply it to Disney without whole hog repeating it, right? Let's find a way to blend this with this, right? Princess and the Frog was this tribute to the Renaissance era. And as much as we kept calling this send-off to 2D, I think it was more of a send-off to the classic era of song and dance musicals that they created, whereas Tangled was this introduction into a new era of musicals that isn't being cynical towards the past, isn't ripping off the past. It's finding a new presentation to it. And Winnie the Pooh is this honoring of the end of Walt's era, because Winnie the Pooh was the last thing that he had any hand in creating, it being the shorts before it was released as a film. And in general, this revival era feels like, hey, let's respect what came before. We're not trying to top it. We respect what came before. We have found a new voice, and we're going to push that push ourselves to the future. And Disney is and Winnie the Pooh, it feels to me like that's how it fits into this revival era, that it is respectful to what came before.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is the anomaly. I agree that I do think it stands out in that it's this weird, it's in between Tangled and Wreck-It Ralph, which are very clearly part of this new era of Disney. Much like Rescuers Down Under.
Right, and honestly, I feel like if you ask people to name like the last handful of Disney movies, they're not going to name Winnie the Pooh.
I always forget this one. When in discussing with some of our listeners about just in general conversation in real life and not on like Twitter or Facebook of, do you have any anticipation of how you're going to rank these last films? And I was like, oh, well, I mean, look what's coming. This, and this. There's one more. What am I forgetting? Oh, right. There's a Winnie the Pooh in there.
Which I remember going way back to before we started this podcast, or like in the early days when I would scroll all the way through the list. I remember being like, because I again, while I remember seeing the posters and the trailers for this movie, I forgot this movie was even in this listing. Just being like, there was a Winnie the Pooh movie like few years ago? Like, I didn't know that was before Wreck-It Ralph. What are you talking about? Or it's funny. It's funny how this just kind of slips in. It's quietly here. It's just like it's kind of just like
waves like Piglet and Pooh. Hi.
Yes, as the Tangled and Wreck-It Ralphs that are the rabbits are going all around being all crazy. Winnie the Pooh is just there waving like, hey guys.
So the lack of comments on the Facebook page and lack of tweets, I don't take that to feel like people have any ill will towards this. I'd be shocked if there's someone out here who hates this movie, aside from the one person who will remain nameless who said they weren't going to watch it because Zooey Deschanel sings a song in it.
Okay, she sings like 3 songs, guys.
She does,
I did the math. Okay,
but I'm curious if anyone has any thoughts about this movie's place in this library. This movie's does it hold its place? Does it firmly does this not necessarily does it belong in the library, because I think that it does stand up to the traditions of what makes this library film so strong. It just doesn't innovate, and it doesn't push the brand, it doesn't push the voice. It's just respectful, sweet film.
Yep.
And that's all I have to say about that. Thank you for listening, everybody.
The last 30 seconds is just me screaming because I didn't know what's happening. Well, real quick, even though we already kind of mentioned it, next week, guys, of course, is 2012's Wreck-It Ralph, which is going to be fun because I don't think I've watched Wreck-It Ralph in at least 4 or 5 years. So I'm kind of excited to watch this. This is going to be fun. But yeah. Go ahead. I guess TC, do the final things of the episode. And,
okay, cool.
We're going to wrap this one up.
Wreck-It Ralph will be placed up on Monday. You can take a look over there if you have any questions or comments for us about it. There's some fun talking points to be had with Wreck-It Ralph, and I'm as I've said a million times, and probably could be a T-shirt for me. I'm looking forward to talking about Wreck-It Ralph.
Insert her. I'm looking forward to, and then just an underscore in parentheses Disney movie name.
So Facebook.com/TopShelfPod. I'm at TC's Big Head. Jeff is at Random Bell. We always love hearing from you guys.
Always.
This was fun, Jeff. I'm happy to have watched this, and I'm happy that it got me to watch the 77 one again as well.
Yes. I'm also glad that we didn't talk for 2 hours about this film.
You know what? I haven't heard one complaint about the length of the past couple episodes.
No.
Hopefully no one has any problem with how short this one is.
It's actually kind of a little bit of like a nice breather. I'm not going to lie, guys. It's just, this is an hour? Oh, okay, cool. We're done. All right.
But that's it. That's all I have to say about that. So
awesome.
This was cool.
Thank you, TC. It's been fun as always. Come back next week, guys, for 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th to last movie.
This has been a podcast. We have been the people you have been listening to, and this is our sign-off.
Yeah!
Kind of muddled that at the end. Did I say this is a sign-off or this is our sign-off?
You're slowly taking over the podcast, aren't you, TC? Yeah. By making it a sign-off. Next week it's going to be, this is my sign-off. And then the week after that, you're not even going to introduce me. You're somehow going to make me not.
You're a glitch, Jeff. You're a glitch.
What?
Is what I'm trying to say.
I'm having deja vu, TC.
And we faded out.
This has been a production of Ghost Hat Media, proud member of the Ghost Hat Network. Find them online at www.ghosthat.net.
I like the ending.